Today I'm going to show you something I built, which is my emergency power backup unit. So I finally finished it. I showed this to you in an earlier video, two projects that I was working on. One was the stove, the ammo can stove, which is all completed, and I've actually since tested it a little bit more since then. It's still working great. And this was the other, and this is my emergency power unit. I've seen a lot of this kind of stuff online, and some people tend to include it with their ham radio too. They'll stick a ham radio in there along with it, maybe have a place to mount an antenna. That might be where this goes in the future. I'm not really sure. For now, I like it the way it is. It's just power. I can plug in a radio to it. I will be adding some Anderson power poles and possibly a positive and negative terminal on the other side for ham radio use, so I don't have to rely on plugging it into a cigarette lighter plug, should I draw more amperage than that. But for now, this is going to be perfect. This is basically portable emergency power. I had these two solar panels. Believe it or not, they're both 5-watt panels. Actually, no, I think the big one's 10, the little one's 5. Had these for a long time. They were outside, pretty much collecting dust, charging a radio and charging a battery for a radio I never used. So I decided to connect them, and this is just that wire wrap stuff. Connect them together and put a cigarette lighter adapter on the end of them. And when these are in light, they're indoors granted today, but you see that lights up. And when they're out of light, turns off. So it kind of gives me a visual indication that they're working. Although I knew they were, I've used them before. And with these, I'm probably going to eventually build a rack for this, and I'll show you that later if I decide to. Just a more easier way to deploy the panels than just dropping them down somewhere. With that, I can plug it into here and charge this. Now, I didn't want to do a traditional hole through there with the panels into the charge control. So what I decided to do was to get a cigarette lighter plug from the store. And this is the same you'd get at most AutoZone type places. And I trimmed off the edge around here and used it as a flange and crazy glued it in. That is my solar input, okay? That's where I plug these panels in, right in there, and I'm charging the battery. Okay, over here, I have my 12-volt plug. Now, this was one unit, by the way, but these are 3 individual things. I have my 12-volt plug. I have a voltage indicator, and I have USB ports. Now, in order for these not to be running 24/7 and killing my battery, what I decided to do, I'll show you, this has a little LED too, put a power switch on there. There. So you can see this is 13.1 volts. I haven't charged this battery much. It's brand new. It's a 24 amp hour gel cell battery inside. And I have a 12-volt plug. I have USB ports. And this is for the solar in. So, like I said, I'll probably add some more different ways to access the battery from there. Turn that off for a sec, and I'll show you the inside. I'm going to unplug the panels. The inside of this, I want to thank a friend who helped me wire it up. I'm familiar with red to red, black to black. You threw this little switch in here that had a 3rd pole in it, and I was completely lost. So, good friend came over and showed me what it was all about and how to do it. This is the charge control. I will be putting that on there once this video is done. I have some double stick tape. I'm going to stick it on the inside of the thing there and just not leave it flopping around. Over here, this is a 160 watt inverter. So I can turn this on, plug it in there, and actually this one isn't part of the power. This is independent of the power switch. So that's running. And that can power all sorts of rechargers, a small light, whatever. Anyway, move on to the insides here. This is the insides. This is how I wired it up. I didn't at first, but now I have 2 fuses down there. So it is a fused system. So in case anything gets crazy in there, it will blow the fuse and not blow up. But that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a pretty simple operation. You got your battery here, And I have room for more batteries in there. You have your 2 different ways to access the power for now, plus a voltage indicator. I don't know that I'd redo the voltage indicator in the future. It came with the set for $11, so it all came together. It's nice to have. It's, you know, kind of a nice meter, but it also draws power all the time and required me to have to stick a power switch on there. Not the end of the world, but I don't know that I do it in the future. I'm going to plug in the solar panels here. They're just in the light that I have in my shop. To show you, oh wait, I gotta put that back on. To show you, there, that's in, and I don't know if you can see the yellow light. Yeah, you can see yellow light on the charge control. So it's now charging off of just the ambient light in here. I would put it outside and test it for you today, but it's pouring rain out, so it's not gonna do me much good out there. But anyway, it is charging up, and it will protect the battery from overcharge. And I mean, as far as explaining how solar works, that's something you can probably look up, you know, on YouTube. There's countless videos of these kind of builds on YouTube. But I just thought it was kind of neat. It's a project I've been wanting to do for a while. It's got my buttons all over it, you know, my stickers hanging all over it. And I also have, if you noticed, I have QR codes on stuff. I have it on here too. That's actually my name and address and all that pertinent information on there. Should I have something like this lent out to someone in an emergency, I can just scan it and go, yeah, that one's mine. Now, granted, not too many people are going to have this, but a bunch of people might have this. This is just a big green plastic ammo can. This also opens up here. So this gives me more options for, as you can see, it's kind of compartmentalized up top. This gives me more options for putting stuff in there, maybe some power poles, maybe some ham radio gear in the future. For now, it's just a power box. That's pretty much where I'm going with it for now. But I wanted to share the project with you. Something like this is really handy when you're out in the field or camping. You know, they sell solar generators on the internet for, you know, $900, $800, $1,000. Something like this is something you can build. And I mean, if you had to buy everything that was here, maybe you'd spend $100. A lot of the stuff I already had, like the wiring and the connectors and the solar panels and a lot of the extra wire for that. But I mean, maybe you'd spend $100, $120. So that's the project. That's my little solar emergency power unit. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And thanks for watching.